We are the Nerd Eternal Network.
I know I'm not the one. Don't fake it well, you don't belong to me.
Hello and welcome to the Dire Bear Adventuring Company stream channel. It's Tuesday night, so that means we'll be running Esper Genesis, the 5e sci-fi game. I'll be your GM for the evening, Jason, from over at the Nerd Eternal Network. Joining me as usual tonight will be Sarah playing Cat, Decca playing Armato, Eric playing Adrian, and here shortly, Patrick playing Hull. How are y'all doing tonight?
I'm here.
Iffy.
Ready to go. Everyone's iffy.
Everybody's kind
It
of
wasn't a good day at work.
It's okay. This is where we unwind.
Agree to that.
until you find out you've been betrayed.
That was last
I just
session.
wind you up more, and then
That was last session.
I don't know. Last session you shot up a bunch of stuff. That was probably the therapeutic session.
They shot at us first.
I didn't say they didn't. All right. So I'm sure everybody remembers what happened last time.
Mm-hmm.
Escaping a pirate base, shooting up a bunch of spider robots. The Kanashi, I believe they were called, which is a
Yes.
known threat in the galaxy. Not usually in the area you were in, but apparently these pirates, they ran across an artifact that turned out to be some sort of fabricator. So as soon as they started poking and prodding at it, it began producing. In the process, I believe all the pirates ended up dead, except for their pilot Staska. Let's see, one or two of them at the hands of the robots, and then a couple of them I think Cat put down.
Yep.
Should have let them suffer.
Very cold-blooded.
Eh. It was either me or the robots, and I think
Well, that's true.
Cat
I
would've
don't
been
guess
more
it was
merciful.
cold-bloodedly if you were putting them out, if it was a mercy kill.
Eh.
But you had escaped. You had notified the defense force, the SDL, something like that. They had swept in just as soon as they could get a dreadnought out there and basically just obliterated. Oh no, excuse me. Once you told them there was a potential artifact in there, they sent troops in and cleaned it out for study. However,
From what you said, it was a very bloody battle.
and there was no artifact found. The fabricator, whatever it is, had apparently been removed. They had video of the pirates unloading it. They had records of pirates that kept on the thing. They know it was there.
So they're not like, oh, you're full of it.
No, well, when they showed up, the place was overrun with Kanashi, so
Fair enough.
that was something you needed to have notified them of anyway. But they give you a little debriefing interview question. They question you each individually in interrogation rooms, essentially. It's not overly hostile. They're just making sure they get everything, making sure they've got the facts before they let you go. So, I think we mentioned last time that in your initial call, you basically told them that you'd been infiltrating this pirate group, that you'd been hired to deal with them or whatever.
If not, we would have said it then.
Yeah. And that's fine. They don't care much, Your mercenaries hired to take out pirates. Right? That's fine.
Right.
Do you mention do you mention your friends that left?
nope. Cat
No real
wouldn't.
reason to.
Okay. So you leave them out, you leave Staska out, you leave that kind of whole portion out.
Hmm.
Yep. Now they do get interested when they start looking into your record, basically. Congratulations, you've all got a record with the SDF now.
Oh boy.
Pretty much as the crew of the Roustabout.
Hmm.
It's not that they're paying any of you really a whole lot of attention individually, but you had a couple of encounters with them. I'm blanking on the fella's name that you had talked to.
That is who we contacted.
Yeah, I think you had called him first, just because you knew he was somebody that would listen. Would listen to you and maybe get the ball rolling quickly. Oh, what was his mother-loving name? Oh well, whoever it is. I've got to organize
That
my
one
list.
guy, you know.
Is me having to clear my throat coming through the mic at all?
Not really.
Not noticeably.
Okay.
Y'all ran into him. When was it you encountered him?
Was it before me?
Yes, it was definitely before you.
Okay. Then Aramonto would not know.
Was it after we cleared that one ship?
That may have been it, which would be back before the stealth.
I believe
stuff.
it was.
Yeah, the floating ship one.
Yeah. We all ended up being rammed. I don't think it was Brian Short. Oh. So I was thinking it was maybe a French name. Anyway, I will find it eventually. Now he doesn't show up himself. He's got the area that he's assigned to, and it would have been a lot longer for him to travel over here than just the closest dreadnought they had. He is kind of sitting in on the interview, virtually. The man interviewing you, a sergeant. Did I not write? Let's see, I've already used Cody Quick's name, haven't I? A Sergeant Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Human. He gets particularly interested. He's a little more interested in you than maybe some of the other people involved. Just because he's been reading through kind of your previous interactions. You've got the drug bust. You've got the ship colliding with you. You had your buddy kidnapped. But he does not mention anything about the Primarin directly. Where you had you had shared the information that you had up to that point with your previous contact. You'd shown him the videos, kind of made them aware. Though at that point, that was before you'd gone to the shortcut. So at that point, you didn't really know much. It was mostly conjecture. He doesn't mention any of that. You don't know if maybe he doesn't have the clearance for it. So do you stay silent about that, or do you bring it up?
I don't know anything about it.
I think they filled you in on the Primarin stuff a little bit.
Not enough to Not enough to be able to like say it, because that's at that point that's me saying it like third hand.
True. What about Kat and Adrian?
Kat and Adrian would be experts at the subject, not Aramanto. Aramanto, like as they're talking about all these things, Aramanto's like, I wasn't part of that. I wasn't part of that.
And they wrap up your interview a lot quicker.
Yeah.
It would depend on the questions they ask.
Okay.
Same.
Really, this guy just kind of wants to know why, how it is that you keep being the center of all this sort of stuff.
That's a great question.
Because you're dealing with this pirate crew here. Investigations had eventually discovered a connection between the would-be drug dealers and the Scarlet Dust pirates. Then here you are infiltrating this group that was attacking the Scarlet Dust pirates, and
I would love to not be the center of things.
Honestly.
Unfortunately, the galaxy has better ideas.
Unfortunately, the galaxy decided we're main characters.
Basically.
Hello.
Just want to be a background character, man.
Hola.
Hey, Patrick.
Hey.
All right, so Patrick.
Yes.
All you've missed is we covered the review, and now we're going over where you were all questioned by the defense force. They had shown up to take over the pirate base, exterminate the Kendashi or Kenashi, whichever it is. They failed to find the fabricator. It had apparently been removed at some point. So, they're searching the surrounding asteroids and trying to find traces of where they might have, loaded in a ship and taken it somewhere. They're questioning you. It comes up, your previous record comes up where, you've dealt with those drug dealers. You were attacked by that ship that then rammed you, and then you went on board and cleared it out. This one particular sergeant is particularly interested in the way you guys keep being the center of this sort of thing, this sort of odd stuff. But he does not mention anything about, the rainbow creatures or any of that. Even though your previous contact in the Defense Force, you had talked to him about it, and he had put it in the file. So you just don't know if this guy's too low ranking to have the clearance or what. But he doesn't bring it up. So I was asking the rest of them if they brought it up specifically, or if they just sort of let sleeping dogs lie.
Not if the dude isn't going to bring it up, no.
Oh. You were talking about wanting to be a background character, Kat. Bubba in the chat brings up a good point. Background characters always end up getting randomly killed.
That's true. I should have chat.
That still could happen to Kat.
They probably wouldn't be as random, though.
There's a reason you would die.
I mean, unless you consider the dice rolls in combat to be random enough.
That's fair.
So, like I said, they go over it with you 2 or 3 times, looking for inconsistencies or too much consistency. But in a day or two, they've cleared the base. They've been searching around to try to find, where this fabricator could have been sent.
And Adrian would be working with their technicians as much as he's allowed to give all the information that he has.
They will certainly talk to you
On
to
the
take
pirate
information.
bit.
Yeah, they will certainly talk to you to take any information you can offer. As far as working with them to solve the problem, they've got their own people for that. But in a day or two, you're ready to go. Jim has used that time to clean up the outside of the roustabout, get the registration and the name and stuff changed back over. He's got the little star logo from Achilles' old show back on the side.
Yes. Armando just
he's got it back looking like it did, like it did before y'all disguised it.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah.
Adrian just walks by the cockpit and just dumps a tricorn hat on his head. Found a gift for you, and then walks.
Well, it's too late now, but yeah, I'm gonna wear it anyway.
No, it was the captain's.
Oh, did you actually take the captain's hat?
Yeah.
And probably his head.
Not his head.
Yanni likes to steal. Yanni is not morbid, though.
Nobody
head's
said
too
anything
big
about,
for
nobody
Yanni.
said anything about Yanni. But it was a joke.
I was gonna say Aramonto's just getting really creepy.
What were you trying to say, Patrick?
No. For all we know, Yanni's somewhere doing like an ventriloquist ask with the guy's head. Hey guys, how you doing?
I don't think Yanni is using him as a puppet, no. I'm not sure he's got enough articulation to do that.
But yes, he has the actual pirate captain's hat that he has given to Jim.
Well, like I said, in a day or two, you're free to go. You know, they've got your number. They can call you if they need any more, if they've got any follow-up questions. And they give you the typical, if you remember anything else, please contact us. They give you a number that's basically will be a direct line to this little task force, so you can cut through some of the red tape if you think of something.
Like cutting through red tape.
He will then ask, if we find this fabricator, do you want us to contact you directly or whatever system defense force ship might happen to be nearby? Considering the universe likes to use us as its personal guinea pig for target practice.
He's like, by all means, contact us, but send out a general alert to just the SDF period.
Got it.
Let me make sure I'm using the right abbreviation there. For some reason, it seems like SDF belongs somewhere else. No. Saurian Defense Force. I've got it right. Maybe it's just a Robotech thing making me. That's what I'm thinking of, maybe. Alright. So after that day or two, you're free to go. You guys have wrapped up the job. Where do you want to go?
Well, let's get in contact with that friend that sent it to us so we can get paid.
Yeah.
However, wasn't that contact with dearly departed, and well, not dead. I mean, actually, they just left.
Yes, Patrick. It was actually one of Francis and Jade's contacts. A man that goes by the name Smurgans.
I imagine they would have given us his phone number or something.
Would they have thought of it?
Well,
Uh,
Cat sure is
Well,
willing to
we
do
were
this pro
we were
bono.
kind of in a rush at the end last time, so I don't think they had a chance to, just because of time, like IRL.
He had contacted you via the ship, so you had that number at least.
Yeah.
As you're getting ready to do that, though, you discover that you've had a deposit into your account. Or however it is to pass the money. So you presume in that 2 days, Francis and Jade must have contacted him, and he paid up without issue.
Well, that works then.
Yep. For
Even
money
better.
tracking purposes, how much did we get paid?
Now, did you not jot down how much he was going to pay you?
I don't think that was ever discussed. At least. But I'm pretty sure the number was big.
It was at least like 100,000, right?
No, but
solid
it was
bill.
several thousand, I think.
10 sounds like like the number, but I'm not 900% sure.
10 to 15-ish,
Yeah.
maybe.
I think it was 10. I know it was the biggest feed brought in so far. But involved a lot of travel and
Yeah.
a fair amount of danger.
Right now, I'm just putting it into the group pool fund.
Okay. Well, go ahead and divide it. Let's see, what did they for? 6 ways because they would have kept their share.
Right.
Okay.
That I'm not good at math, so
I'm pulling up a calculator.
thank you.
We're all on computers. It should be easy to do.
We're all on computers and playing a game set in the future.
As opposed to playing a game, set in medieval in the medieval past.
After they took their share, would have left.
I'd like to
support
point out that
6,000.
40K is still possible, so you might not have a calculator there.
No, fair enough. What were you saying, Kat? Or Sarah?
It would be the share after they took their shares. That would be $6,668.
6,668.
That's a very
Yeah.
specific number.
Well, it was repeating, so I rounded.
Yeah.
Ah.
And math tends to be very specific.
And our share?
Would they have paid us before we got off planet?
Yeah.
It was downloaded into our accounts. Is what happened.
Yeah. You find out that it hit your accounts. Basically, earlier the day that you were released from the Defense Force.
So
Also, do we want to divvy it up a little further because we still have our sort of crew account?
Currently, the crew account has 6,000. 1 second.
because I was gonna go back and go get that sword from that one dude.
What sword was it you saw that you liked?
The long blade. But if you had I would have also tried to go back to check out a grand blade if you had a special one.
The crew account currently is 6,650. So, folks can take their share, which would be 1,667.
1,006 what?
1,667.
1667. I'm sorry, I did not understand originally then because you said 6,000. I was like, that doesn't make sense in math. But that was after.
Originally.
Yeah, that was after they got their money. Yeah,
Yeah,
I understand now. It was just.
Yeah.
So y'all
the ship
are.
account is 6,000 something. Never mind.
So
No,
y'all,
you're good, you're
y'all
good,
are
you're
cut free now to go where you want. Where do you want to go? You got your money.
I would like to go to a crucible.
So that's how it feels to get paid. A lot.
Yeah, get used to it.
I hope so.
Did the Toreador not
Yeah.
get paid a lot?
Yeah,
I was a keeper. I was paid by sleeping there.
Pro bono.
say we got fact stacks, but I don't really know how cuboles work.
I think they're programmable matter. So, I guess they can be whatever shape you want them to be.
It's a giant quarter. Here you go.
Little squares, little Lego blocks, so they stack together well. And that way you can still have fat stacks.
And you can step on them at night.
Fat stacks and a reasonable trap.
Money and caltrops.
That was the word.
I vote for probably a crucible. Did we want to go back to the pirate place? I mean, apparently Jim retrofitted our ship back to the roustabout, so that may not be a good.
I don't want to. I was just inquiring if we got paid before, because I wanted to get I wanted to go get that really cool sword that I saw.
No,
in the
you did not
weapon
get
shop.
paid until after the mission.
That's fine.
Either Smurgans took Francis and Jade at their word, Or reports of this got out fairly quickly, so he took that as good enough evidence.
I'd imagine a dreadnought suddenly getting rerouted would be a pretty quick one.
It's pretty big news.
That, and as you travel, you find out the SDF has put an alert out for people to be on the lookout for this, with a description of the missing
Giant
pirate
Corn
ship.
spiders.
There was a pirate ship unaccounted for. So they may have
gonna
used
haunt
that
us.
one, or they may have used it, or they may have disassembled it and used the pieces to build their own and took off.
Right.
I vote we find somewhere nice to buy some stuff. Find a crucible.
Okay.
Sure.
Don't immediately dive back into a mission. Maybe
All right.
we've had a rough couple.
It's been pretty touch and go.
Yeah.
Making sure Adrian is actually in his. Every now and again, I'm still looking at Adrian and making sure he's in his body.
What?
You just walked up to him going,
I will smack you.
I am not used to someone just leaving consciousness like that and then just jumping on me.
he's an
If
narcoleptic.
you're gonna do that, warn me next time.
I didn't exactly have much time to do that.
To be fair, he hasn't done it in a while.
It was either I did it right then, or the Kanashi would have torn the ship apart. You can make fists at all you want at me. That's not going to change what happened.
So you have a couple of days of this.
Yes.
As you
Travel
through
or our motto driving mad.
You have a couple of days of travel where our motto is probably walking around doing this constantly. Like every time he sees Adrian.
I mean, there is that question Armando could ask him if he wants to.
There's a lot of questions Aramonto could ask you.
Got time.
Yeah. He's gonna. After 2 days of this, he's gonna just walk over and be like, "So what's your deal anyway?"
I would
Cat is anywhere in
deal
earshot,
with
laughing
a
hysterically.
lot of things. You're going to have to be more specific than.
I don't know, man. Every time I turn around, you have another project going on. Something else you're just putting your fingers into.
I like to stay busy.
So do I, but he pulls out his grand blade. I should just sharpen this.
Well, I'm not good at that. I'm good at tech. I'm good at computers. I'm good at this, and he'll just show the gauntlet on his right hand before activating it and turning it into a plasma sword and then making it go away again.
That's something. That's pretty cool, actually.
Well, I built it.
That's pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
But to answer your question, I like to stay busy, keep my mind off things, and just basically lose myself in my work.
Is there a particular reason? I have my own demons that I am, getting out of that I, keep myself busy through.
None that in particular come to mind. I've never been one to stay still for very long unless I have to. Granted, physically I might stay still for a while, but if I'm doing that, then I'm in the simulacrum matrix running around.
Which is still very freaky. And what about what you call them? The little thing, Yanni.
Oh, he is, how to put that? He is a conjured protean made out of a flash cloned portion of my own.
Science.
Aramato just has nothing.
Particularly apparently the parts of me that are a little bit more kleptomaniac.
That explains
Considering
the
he
hat.
sort of has an affinity for stealing shit. I've noticed.
So if you didn't have Yanni, you'd be stealing stuff randomly?
Well, I mean, I steal all the time, but that's digital.
Physically stealing? All the time?
Potentially. It depends on what it would be.
Is that why you're so, like, nonplussed by everything, and then Yanni's just like, yee!
Someone has to be.
How do you just take a piece of your emotional spectrum away? Wouldn't that be debilitating?
Well, yes and no. It helps me to compartmentalize, and I can operate more efficiently that way. And it just, I mean, Yanni is a handful in and of itself. Ow! And he just bats at an invisible Yanni. Nah, little pissed. But he is basically what I am not. If that makes sense.
But he's part of you. If he's what you're not, that's an interesting way to say. That's an interesting way to phrase that.
Well, that's all I've got to give. I had to give up a part of myself somehow. It's what's required to summon something as powerful as him. Most spirits that are summoned by espers are not as strong as what Yanni is. They can't really interact with the world too terribly much beyond what their master tells them to. They don't really entirely have free will of their own, except in limited sense. They can't really attack to defend their masters or the things they need to. None of them are capable, really, of phasing through objects like he can, or going into a different plane of existence to protect himself.
Those are all really cool things that Yanni can do.
It's what he is.
What about?
Oh, go ahead.
What about when back on the planet you guys found me on? You were talking with. Now that I've had a time to like go over it. When you guys found me and you were interrogating the hunter, you were speaking in a language that I've never heard before. And I know quite a few languages, so that's new to me.
That is. I say is. That was their native tongue. It's the language of their homeland.
Who?
Home world, or used to be their home world, technically.
The language of.
Oh, my brain wants to go to the Prometheans, but I know that's not it.
The Primarin.
Thank you. He just says like, well, if you're going to be in this to the long haul, their name are the Primarins. There's something we've been dealing with ever since our group first got together.
What's their deal? Functional immortality?
It's not functional.
Okay. I mean, they're. Yeah.
No,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Say there's a reason. There's a reason that you're coming. They're either you're coming after them or they're coming after you. And if I'm going to be a part of this, I should probably know these things.
They've been after us for various reasons or another. Mostly because they don't like us getting close to their knowledge.
And you keep doing that.
Now,
Yeah.
Aramato was at one of the dinners at Achilles.
Yeah. wasn't paying attention.
So some of this background information you would have accumulated.
A little bit of
there
it tracks.
as far as what you were after, and that they were researching these people, and these people don't like it.
It's one thing to hear it from like a celebrity who, at a dinner. It's another thing to hear it from one of the people that I'm going to be potentially trading blows with in the field of battle.
All right. So you get all your background information kind of filled in on this trip.
Yeah.
Patrick.
Not all of it.
Well,
He gives the basics.
he gets the relevant portion of what the party has been doing, not everybody's
Yes.
individual backstory.
Sure.
Okay, Patrick, what does Hull do in this several days of downtime?
One of the things I do, I actually do research that system where we encounter the technocracy.
Mm-hmm.
I look up any recent information on that system. As in any recent news, recent reports.
I'm trying to remember. Did you come out in a system, or was it just empty space when you got there? That's the trick. You're not sure where you were at. You didn't have the actual coordinates for the place. They had put something into your ship that basically hijacked.
It was empty space.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. Get a cloaked
All right.
ship. Now, leaving it, your ship synced up with something like it was syncing up with the Crucible. And you have no clue what that could have been.
I go to the ship sensors records and make sure they're routed out sensor records. Any information, I'm trying to determine what caused that.
Roll me a mechanics.
May I assist in that?
This is several days, so yeah, you can. This
I
could be a
think
joint project.
20, because it is several days.
I don't think that's a thing in 5e. I've been thinking about that.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a roll. With advantage, though, as Adrian is helping you.
Is what a thing in 5e?
They just take a 20.
Taking 20.
Oh.
I think taking 10 still is, but I can't remember.
I think it's only for rogues.
Reliable talent, yeah.
Where is... Oh, there's a better one.
There's passive scores, those are still a thing, but it's not like... If you're actively working on something, you still have to roll for it.
Well, I got a 20 anyway.
Nice!
It's 26. It just...
26 total.
Oh, okay, you were using the dice roller, so yeah, you rolled the two dice and added together. Okay, but yes. So you got a 6 and a 20. So it's a natural 20 with the 6. Of course, natural 20s are not auto successes in skills. But 26 is good and high. The first thing you think of is, could they have had a cloaked crucible? But a crucible, cloaking technology is not reliable or widespread exactly. So the idea that they could have cloaked something the size of a moon, you doubt it. Allegedly, the rumor mill is they've got a cloaked space station somewhere, and the ship they had, I believe, had some kind of cloaking when y'all first arrived. Barring that, you wonder if they could have some sort of relay device, perhaps. Something that was itself synced up with maybe the closest crucible, so that it could access that network without being, a crucible itself. You have no idea how they could have built such a thing. Or even, you don't know that it's physically possible for them to have built such a thing. Theoretically, you could kind of see how it would work. And of course, the technocracy is known for pilfering technology from
Yep.
other vanished races and stuff. So maybe they found something.
Yes. Because if anyone's got good tech, it's someone called the technocracy.
Yep.
Okay.
I see where Bubba looked it up too. Yeah, taking a 10 in anything other than perception is only for rogues the reliable talent. And of course, taking 10 in your perception is just your passive perception.
Yeah.
Bubba.
Well, yeah. Technically, you can passive anything, but if you're actively doing something, you still got to roll for it.
In that case, a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
One, knowing that I at least have a baseline of what to look for, I'd like to actually be able to see if I can look up. I'm going to have to use Adrian's help on this one, since he can actually go black hat and everything like this. Try to find any information with something of similar nature.
Okay, well that's basically going to be shifting through.
And I want to say I do in fact have investigate as a skill as well.
Yeah, go ahead and roll and investigate. Because you're searching through computer.
Actually, I'll use
reports and so forth.
computer then, as I actually don't have investigate. I just happen to have a decent skill in that. My computers is actually better.
Yeah, go ahead and roll that then. With advantage if you're getting Adrian's help on it.
Yeah, so it'll be a 20.
Alright, so that's a 9 and a 15. Yeah, 50 plus 5. 20. Alright. With the 20, you get a few reports of disappearing ships or people that synced up with a crucible, claim they synced up with a crucible and appeared in an empty system that didn't have a crucible. None of it is super reliable. You find like 15 or so accounts that kind of fall into the criteria you're looking for. But they're scattered over the last couple of centuries. It's like Bermuda Triangle stories.
Okay, gotcha.
There are a few that sound like what you encountered.
I try to sort through the stuff that closest fit are. Basically, I'm narrowing down the search now.
Okay.
And one more thing, it's probably going to be another computer roll. I wanted, knowing my research that I did while I was still employed by them, I'm basically, the things they were trying to do, try to actually get, since I actually know the end goal, I was trying to actually see if there's any been steps laid for that.
Alright.
Essentially, I'm trying to actually see if I can find anything that sounds remotely like the research that I was doing.
Okay, and it was some kind of biological dispersal kind of thing?
Yes. I think I gave Adrian and Kat my data in case I didn't make it.
Just me.
Actually, I thought I gave it to Kat too, because I gave it to her mask.
Gave it to her mask. She doesn't know what the hell it is.
But she may have a copy of it on her person now.
She would have given it to Adrian.
Yeah, go ahead and get computer use for that, Patrick.
Because overall, what they were researching is how people become espers. Part of the reason why I was created is because they wanted to... Basically, I was the troll group. They noticed that I was... After they figured out, well, we actually cured me to be able to become an esper, and then they were going to dissect me, figure out, make sure this worked.
Okay, so the the biological agent they're working on is trying to find a way to trigger espers, essentially.
Yes.
All right, with a 25. Man, you're burning up all the good rolls on this stuff. With a 20, you and Adrian poking around, sometimes in places you really shouldn't. Name a government, and they are probably working on something similar to this.
I see.
Not the mass dispersion thing, but the being able to reliably trigger espers on command. Yeah, that's been a pipe dream for quite a while. You do not find any information indicating that anybody has come as close as the technocracy has. They triggered it in you, but you don't know if that was a fluke or not.
Gotcha.
You don't know of any other successes they had in the program while you were there. So.
And well, that's it for now. I'll try to come up with other things later. I am going to try to collate, figure out, see if I can essentially try to track more reliable places where the people say they disappeared in an empty system that they said they were the crucible there. Try to actually narrow down the choices.
Okay.
That would probably be for a later time. Also, I don't know if this was discussed. Did we level at the start of this session?
Yes, y'all leveled after last session, so.
Okay, I need to update character then.
Yeah, probably won't be any major combat this session, so.
All right.
But yeah, definitely be sure to level up by next time.
I'll grab truck. Anyway.
All right, and
Okay.
Cat, how does Cat spend his time?
Follows up on that bit of information she found on the Shadow Net. Checks all the gossip mags from her home planet to see if there's anything interesting happening with her family.
Let's see, what information was it you found? Oh yes, somebody was asking for information.
It was her cousin.
And they had a picture from some surveillance at quite some distance.
Yeah.
Where Cat's back was to them, but it got Adrian's profile. Enough that enough that zoomed in, you were able to recognize it as him.
Nice.
But oh, you rolling your hit points?
Yeah.
Okay. Then there's not a whole lot extra. You see where some people have asked her some questions, for some more information, but she doesn't have much else to give them. Like I said, you recognize the alias only because you already knew that was the name your cousin used. The two of you had been kind of close growing up. Hadn't seen as much of her once you got grown into the family business.
Okay.
Give me a gather information, I guess, as you're doing some more poking around in the Shadow Net and stuff.
Okay, gather information.
Or
investigation.
Investigate, I'm sorry. 11 different rule systems.
Yeah.
You don't really find anything else usable, Like I said, you go back to that original posting, and some people have asked some other, some questions, so you can see that there is some interest amongst people, There's definitely people out there looking to dime y'all out if they do find any information. That's hardly shocking.
Yeah. She'll show it to Adrian. Probably gonna need to get you a mask too.
Is there any security footage of me?
He reaches over, pulls one out, shows it to her.
Yeah, I thought Adrian had used one a time or two.
He got one before we did this job with the pirates.
Yeah, I was thinking around the time you started doing the whole laser plasma sword thing that you had picked one up.
Pretty much, yeah. It was around the time of the Hunters when he actually got his mask and his kit.
I don't know if he does the
Armand.
emojis on it like Cat does. You know.
Nah, it's just blank mask with two glowing eyes.
Paramount is still going to be the big dude with just his face showing and everything.
His hair
Everyone
blowing
else
in the
is like
wind,
mad.
Fabio style.
Yeah, hell yeah. Dark wind.
There's no wind. How is his hair moving? It's prehensile.
Art Dendis.
It's a cybernetic weave. Don't worry about it. Let's see. Jim has gone back to being kind of quiet. You know, he was clearly having fun in the pirate adventure. The near death, you know, the running from death against the robot spider things does not particularly seem to have bothered him. Not like the day he spent avoiding the drones around the Hunter's Moon.
Probably try to saddle up to him again, just because I started taking over piloting, even though Kat's probably better at it than I am.
I don't think she's proficient in it, so.
Oh, fair enough. I'd probably saddle up to him and just kind of be like, "Jim, it's been a few days. You good, buddy?"
Oh yeah, man. He's still wearing the pirate captain's hat.
So that's a pretty cool hat. I'm glad Yanni found it for you.
I mean, it's not that he's walking around.
He's just quiet, and when everyone else is talking a lot, it's weird.
You know, when you have dinners and stuff, he's still talking and active. When you engage him, he's almost normal.
Yeah.
But if you just walk in on him, though, yeah, it's like something's still weighing on him.
Yeah. Is there something you want to talk about, man? I like to think I'm my dynamic in the team is just like having these one-on-one discussions with people.
Sorry, I'm just picturing a big burly guy sits down with his two-handed sword. So I'm the ship counselor.
HR sent me.
Mother.
It's in his rig.
He pops the sword out of his rig, and then he pops the psychiatrist's couch out of his rig. Please lay down.
How was your mother when you were growing up? But I just wanted to leave it out there. If there's anything you ever want to talk about, I'm here for you, buddy. Like as someone who has also been in a pretty touch and go situation before these people, I think having us all together and in good spirits is important.
Oh yeah.
So,
ship morale. I understand.
Yeah, of course. And I want to make sure everyone is just having not even having a good time, but contributing and making sure that we're all together. And if anyone has any problems, we can face them together. Looks at Adrian.
Cat in the background making a gagging motion.
Well, I appreciate
Adrian
that,
just
man.
raises a brow. I'm just like, what?
Not actually looking at you.
He goes, well, I appreciate that, but I think I'm okay. I don't.
Okay.
There's probably not anything that I need to talk about. Or
Okay.
anything I should talk about.
Just keep it in mind. I'll be here for you, buddy. Not pat him on the shoulder and walk off. And as I'm walking off, I'm gonna roll an insight check.
Okay, give me an insight check.
I believe it's a straight roll. It is in fact a straight roll for me. I got 10.
You take him in his
He's
word.
actually.
Yeah,
He didn't think there's anything to talk about.
that's fair.
It's not that you're completely convinced that talking wouldn't still help him.
No, it's just
He doesn't think he needs to talk about anything.
Yeah. But at least I've planted the seed.
All right. Finally,
Walks
you
over
make
to
your
Cat
way.
next. I'm just kidding.
Finally, you make your way to another system with a crucible. Like all crucibles, there's people living on it, like it's a huge station sort of thing. Even crucibles in slightly out of the way places, or places that were slightly out of the way, when they discover a crucible, it becomes a hub of activity. So this is like you're rolling into a large station. So there's hundreds, if not thousands, of places to dock. There's your usual sort of station fees. And for all intents and purposes, you're in a major metropolitan area.
As soon as we get out, I'll let everybody else do what they're gonna do because I feel like it's been a very me-centered episode so far. But I will have gone to look for a weapon shop.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Finding a plethora of places that sell weapons.
Yeah. But I'll let everyone else do what they're gonna do, and I'm gonna be back in a sec. I'm gonna get a drink.
Okay. All right, now that you're here on the Crucible,
Adrian is going to look for one of those forges to see about remaking the dog.
Okay.
Or repairing the dog, rather.
Let's see. Forging techniques. What I need is the actual forge. Okay, forge is not in there. What else would it be called?
What are we missing?
You have these things in crucibles they refer to as forges. It's kind of where you get your magical objects, magical items and stuff.
Ah, yes.
Like one of you has got a forged weapon, but I forget who it was.
Cat.
Is it? Yeah.
I think
Sniper?
I think it was a forged sniper rifle. Which means it was constructed in one of these forges on a crucible.
That's what Aramont was looking for, by the way.
Alright, crucibles. 273. Let's look at that right quick. Well, you certainly find that there's one on this, it's a crucible. They're going to have a forge. It is controlled by basically the local, think of it as kind of the city government for the station. They will allow other people to hire it out, though it's rather expensive. They really need to print a background book on the setting. And page 10, I bet that's not going to have anything useful. So while Adrian is investigating getting the use of a forge, Hole, what are you doing?
The idea of you being able to use a forge that's literally kind of as an engineer. This does intrigue me. I want to actually look up into possibly improving my armor.
Okay. So you and Adrian both want you some not magical weapons and armor or whatever.
Yes.
Or in his case, a little buddy.
Yeah. I I have enough little buddies as is, so
Yeah.
I'm
One
literally
can never have enough little buddies.
I'm literally at that stage where Killbot, I choose you.
All right. Let me find the equipment area.
Da.
I'm concerned that the information we're really needing for the forges may be in like the tech guide that's not out yet. All right, equipment. Starting equipment settings.
Arm. Go to credits. Combat movement. Armor.
Yeah, basic equipment section doesn't say anything about forged weaponry.
That's what was 3-1. There we go.
I didn't see anything in the handbook either.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of them things that they.
Just make it up as you go along, Jason.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna have to do. Coming up with money values for stuff is one of the things I'm least comfortable.
We're doing it live.
Well, it's the PHP. It's 500. Make it 1,000.
Well, that's the trick. 5th edition D&D, they don't really even give prices for the.
Well, no, the Esper Genesis book does give prices for the mundane weapons.
Oh yeah, for the mundanes, yes. I mean for the for like magical weapons in D&D.
I don't know. Did they specifically make it vague so you can make it up?
Clearly. You can rent a. Let's see. You can rent the use of a forge for a day, but it's like 1,000 cubles for the day.
We've got 6,000 in the ship fund.
We're gonna rent it for a week.
Would that be just one person hold a day for much, or could we as a group go and do what we got to do?
You could rent it. Whoever rented it could do whatever they wanted to do. The
So
group of
whoever
you could
rented
rent
it
together.
could say-
That would be fine.
Yeah. Okay.
How much you'd be able to get done in a day, I will refer to the Dungeon Master's Guide from D&D as far as how long crafting magical objects takes.
Xanathars has a pretty good thing too.
Well, in that case, Adrian will have 2 goals in mind for that.
Okay.
Repair the dog and bring it back online for him. And potentially some better armor. If he has time.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, there's the Dungeon Master's Guide.
Hey, don't bogart the forge, man.
Well, that's the trick. You're not going if you rent for like 1 day or even 2 days, you're not going to have time to get a whole lot done.
I would want anything from the forge.
I would honestly try to help Adrian out with his robotic doggo.
Okay, that's weird.
I have a little bit of mechanical prowess.
I was flipping through a random. Oh, there it is.
You found it on the first try and you turned away from it.
No, it was the headline. Alien technology. It's like, what's that doing in this book? But then
The
it's things
DMG
like
has
gunpowder
everything.
and dynamite sticks.
Yeah.
No, well, laser pistols, laser rifles,
Yeah, they have a thing on guns too.
Yeah. Well, the laser stuff too. Back in the day, they did that Night of the Comet storyline, where you had the crashed alien ship. The novel's fun because you basically got the wizard inside the tank, like buffing the tank, and the AI they're fighting is trying to figure out why that tank is doing so much damage, and they just can't figure it out. All right, creating magical objects. Magical, it's categories, not creation. Okay, but Hull, you were wanting better armor.
Yes.
Chances of you being able to make some in the time that you can afford on the forge is slim. However, this is a very large, area, so there might be shops that would have that sort of thing.
Uh-huh. Oh, I'm going to make cool armor. Okay.
If y'all are getting about the level, I should probably be handing out a few more.
A few more.
Little items and so forth. Okay, I know there's something in here about creating objects, but I'm not finding it at the moment.
Check Xanathar's.
I don't think I've got that one yet. Oh well. Make it up as I go along, man.
There you go.
Alright. So, Adrian, you rent a forge. Or area at the forge. $1,000 a day. In the 1 day's time, you are able to physically repair the dog. Using Solarium. It's going to cost you, say, another 500 cubits to purchase the raw material to go into the repairing of him.
Alrighty.
But assuming you have everything that you need gathered ahead of time, and you'd have figured this out, you can get the dog up and running in the 1 day's time.
Okay. Well, we don't have to pull out of the party funds because he has enough to cover that himself.
Yeah, building this whole thing from scratch would have been quite a bit more expensive.
Yeah, that's why he said he was going to grab one of the ones that is the least damage.
Oh, Bubba may have come through for us. Page 129.
Bubba, you're amazing.
Yeah, Bubba's coming in clutch today. Shoutouts to Bubba in the chat.
Oh, and 130's got the sellable magical item, so let's keep that page marked as well.
Let's put a bookmark. For like 5 minutes from now when you have to go to Aramonto.
Well, I've got pieces of napkin marking pages. I've got tabs on the sides.
Oh, wow.
I'll usually just print out like the couple pages I refer a lot and just laminate those suckers.
Oh, that would be
Put them on the scanner.
Yeah, crafting magical items. All right. So yeah, creation tiles. I'm not sure if the dog would count as uncommon or rare. But yeah, we'll go with what I said. Because he is mostly already constructed.
3 of them.
I think you only brought Did you bring all the destroyed doggos, or did you just grab the least damaged one?
But I mean, the hunter had like 3 or 4 of them, so I don't know if they would probably be more uncommon than.
Yeah, say the hunter had about 3 or 4. He grabbed the least damaged one because he knew that would cost the least amount to repair and to reactivate.
So yeah, so for a grand total of 1,000 for the rental, 500 for materials. And, the full day's labor, you showed up the minute it was available to you, and you stayed, they were knocking on the door about the time you were But you have the dog reactivated.
Hey, where'd that dog come from?
Memory-wise, it's a blank slate, so it does not remember.
The hunter.
Right. Any previous master, truthfully. So you won't be able to inquire of it about anything in its past because it's basically a blank slate.
Gotcha.
Think of it like an Ashen Forge. We reuse these body parts, but it's a fresh, new person.
Okie dokie.
What's your doggo's name?
Archibald.
No.
The Duchess. The Archduchess.
Agent Archer. Code
Gauss.
Gauss. Ooh, I like Gauss. Gauss. I like it.
Like the Gauss rifle.
Mhm.
Out of Battletech.
Sarah's shaking her head at me because she knows exactly where I pulled that from.
Fallout.
Warframe.
Oh, fair enough.
I've got to play that game at some point.
It's a lot of fun.
I've played it a
I will
couple of
convert
times.
you all.
I've played it a couple of times. It's not my cup of tea because I can't play with other people. I would have to play with other people, and I'm never on with other people.
Heresy.
All right. And so yeah, it takes you one day to do that. Though you had to wait a day or two for the forge to become available. Despite the expense, it stays booked. All right, Kat, what are you doing?
I'm gonna need that stat block though.
Honestly, Kat's just kind of wandering around. She has nothing she really wants to accomplish. And here, she might look again into maybe what's going on her home planet. But not really anything she wants. She'll probably tag along if someone goes and looks for armor, see if there's anything, but
Okay.
You can tag along with me.
And while y'all are doing that, Jim is, reprovisions the ship, hits the local bar scene.
Send a text to Jim. Don't get too drunk this time. I'm slowly becoming the.
He responds with, "I'm not as thunk as you drunk I am."
I'm slowly becoming the group dad.
But you realize he had to do that on purpose, otherwise autocorrect would have fixed it for him.
Yeah. Turned off autocorrect for that sentence.
All right, Hull, you were going to look for some
Autumn
improved
water.
armor. So, let's see. What kind of armor are you interested in?
I currently wearing medium trooper armor.
All right.
That's and nano weave is for just +1 additional armor save is way more expensive.
All right, so yeah, any kind of mundane armor out of the book you can find here, no problem.
Yep.
This is a big city, kind of frontier-y. Oh, kind of at the edges of your more civilized areas.
Yeah.
Did I flip past it? I must have flipped past the equipment somewhere. So you said you were looking at nano weave, was it?
No, I was actually not looking at nano weave because that's far out of my price range right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because where is nano weave? For just medium trooper is AC 14, nano weave suit is AC 15.
With a huge price difference.
Yes.
I wonder if nano weave comes with some other somethings that aren't listed on the.
I was looking that up.
Nanoweave. This variant of trooper armor has been fortified with a coating made of nanocarbons fused over the protective.
So fluff, and that's about it, huh?
Yeah.
Where you can get a 16. Maybe it's a game balance thing where they don't want medium armor to give you that much protection without there being some trade off.
Yeah.
If you get a heavy armor, you get a heavy armor with a 16 A base AC for 750.
But I don't think I can use heavy armor. Let me double check that.
As a mechanic, I don't know if the mechanic is kind of the cleric.
One of them can do it, and one of them can't, and I don't know which one you are to know that.
I am the. Let me go back to. I've got the. I actually have like the file pulled up right now. So. Medium.
While you're doing that, let me grab the DMG and see what kind of.
Machinist. I get shields, which I do in fact have.
Okay. Plus one armor in D&D would cost you about 5,000 gold.
How does that translate to here?
A GB and a GP and a cubit would probably be about the same.
So I can't afford that as I currently sitting at buying like other kind of neat things over time. I'm only at 1897. So
magic armor is super expensive. However, buying, if you find some mundane armor, that would be an improvement for you that you want. You have, like I said, you have no trouble finding it in these shops.
all right, that's why I was looking at being able to forge it. But you said you probably wouldn't have enough time.
I don't quite have enough to be able to get up to the definitely not splint mail.
Let's see. Crafting items. So yeah, the amount of time it usually takes is for every 25 of the price is a day you spend working on it. Oh, an 8-hour workday. Which really means I let Adrian get by a little easier than that. Though he rented for a day, and I'm assuming he just worked straight through.
Yep.
Though in the future, for purposes of creation cost, the rental of the forge will be factored into the baseline creation cost. That'll just be an easier way to do it.
All right.
So when you get a creation cost, that's the time to, the money to rent the forge, etc., etc.
So what would it have been for the dog?
We're gonna stick with the money I told you for the dog, because I'm not sure if he'd have been uncommon or rare.
Gotcha.
Keep in mind that Hunter is somebody that's been around a long time and had a lot of time to accumulate things.
Okay. In regards to the engineer, the heavy arms variant is still gets heavy armor.
Okay, so you've got medium armor.
Yeah.
So you can't actually afford to improve anything. Do you have a portable shield device?
Yes, I do.
Or a reinforced shield, for that matter?
I actually think I. Let me check that because I want that.
Because just carrying a shield would boost your
Armor. Actually, yes, I do in fact have a personal shield device that is in fact reinforced, which explains my high armor class.
Okay.
Because essentially, my medium trooper is up there on top of the shield. also my plus 2 dex because I'm still using medium armor.
Okay. So Cat's probably tagging along with you while you go window shopping for suits of armor.
Yeah.
Discovering that they're quite expensive. Even with your newfound windfall. Let's
There's,
see.
in the future, be able to look at the banner weave because there's got to be just for the plus 5. That is a exceedingly high price jump.
Yeah. Well, after remind me when we wrap up the session, and I'll try to check the errata about it. Make sure it wasn't some kind of misprint.
There's the same kind of price jump between Centurion and Fusion armor. I mean, Centurion
there
is.
is. It is ridiculous.
2,000, and then
Yeah.
Fusion armor is 15,000.
I guess it's just going to cost you a lot of money to get that last little bump of AC.
And it's like getting the epic. Drop.
It's literally just plate armor. There's no way, and plate armor is like 3,000 in PHP, I think.
1,500.
1,500? Okay.
All right. So Cat's running around with Hole doing that, presumably. Armato, you said you were looking for weapon
Hi.
shops?
Yes. Easy enough to find. I am looking for. I'm not even looking for like. Technically, I'm looking for magic weapons, but I'm like looking. I'm more for like the uniqueness of the weapon rather than like.
You're looking for something pretty. You
Yeah.
really are window shopping, kind of.
Yeah. And while I'm there, I talk shop with the people who are there about weapons, and I'll show them my grand blade that comes out of. I'll pull it out of my rig and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, they're fascinated by that. I mean, they have seen such things before. They know other Espers that can do that.
Right.
But it's still something neat to see, in person. And they look at your blade and they show off, the fancier stuff they've got. They have some forged weaponry. It is, of course, freakishly expensive, like the armor. Because I'm assuming magic swords are following the same rarity as the armor.
I think so. How much for an uncommon sword?
Let's see. Well, actually, now that I think about it, I seem to recall the armor being more expensive, so...
I'm honestly surprised that DMG actually has like prices.
Well, it's a chart at the
DMG is
beginning, is why I
amazing.
had never noticed it before.
Ah.
And it's just based on the rarity rating they give it. Come on now, where's the generic 1s, 2s, and 3s?
Another thing about it, since it was brought up, at some point Adrian is going to want to try to find a personal shield, reinforced shield.
You're gonna like, as Kat and Hall are leaving the armor shop, you're gonna go in and be like, "Hey, shields."
Oh, if you would have told Kat about it, she could have picked him one up.
He would have. He probably would have talked about it since he's been spending more time up in melee lately.
Then she would have picked it up for him.
Not have noticed.
Alright. Ammunition. So yeah, like I said, any of the mundane stuff.
Easy enough.
Any equipment you're looking for other than weaponry and armor.
As far as equipment goes, ooh, wow, that grenade launcher is interesting.
Grenades, you say?
You could stock them on some grenades if you want.
Yeah, I could.
What makes me a good demo man? I guess I feel that played Fortress.
I can't link to a grenade. Uh,
All right, so if that's all the shopping you're going to do,
yeah,
you
pretty
meet,
much.
you meet back up on the ship. When you get up the next day, Adrian has gotten home with his doggo. So, you glance into his room. He's sitting there. There's a dog dish next to him full of nuts and bolts, and it's just sitting there. Not because it needs to, but just for the visual.
Basically.
Pretty much. That's Hey, you got one of them working. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like a point to it, or you just like do you just have a thing for robots?
Yes.
Okay. Walks out.
He's learned not to press when Adrian's clearly in one of those moods.
It's not even that. He just doesn't like. It's not that he doesn't like robots. He's just like that robot tried to kill us the last time I saw it.
Jim's up eating breakfast. He's not wearing the pirate hat anymore. If questioned, he tells you he's got it hanging up in his room. He's discovered that walking through doorways, he keeps bumping it on stuff.
He like hits the hallway and it like comes off. He's like, God damn it!
All right. So what does the party want to do now? You have made money. You have spent money.
Not really.
Well, the party has spent money.
Sure.
Do we want to check back in with Achille?
Sure. Is that something that can be done through comms, or do you prefer the one-on-one?
Y'all can call. Y'all got like this secure number you can call.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's what y'all doing?
Probably should. We've done what job? We've done jobs between jobs for him and other.
Well, you've done this pirate job, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's try to advance the main plot.
Back to the main quest. We've done side quests. Now back to the main quest. All right. So you call up Achilles, or you call Achilles' estate. Let's see here. Basil answers the comm. Are y'all all like crammed around the viewport, or is it like one of you sitting at the communication and everybody else is in the room, maybe? But
Just idling in the back, like eating or something, pulling out my grand blade just for the hell of it, just kind of like in the background.
you like the animated backgrounds in the Street Fighter game. You're not really doing anything.
Yes.
You're just kind of there moving around.
Yeah.
So anyway, Basil answers the call. Ah, Miss Cat, hello. I hope you.
Damn it, why am I the captain?
I hope
Yes.
I hope you and your crew are well.
How are things going on back there? Anything Achille needs looked into? We're between personal missions.
Well, he's off taking a little holiday now. As of the last time he discussed it with me, no, he had still come up with no other leads. The expedition to the shortcut was really pursuing the last lead he had. He has decided it would be best to take a little time away from it and then come back at it, with fresh eyes in a few weeks, perhaps. So for me, it's been quiet these last few days as I'm just, maintaining the estate.
Alright then, nothing weird has gone on there. Where'd he go on vacation to? If it's not super secret information.
He was not entirely certain. He rattles off this little resort world. He was going to start there, but where he was going to wander around from there, he had not decided.
Okay.
And he's not sort of calling check in.
Well, if anything happens, Basil, let us know. We'll call back in a couple of weeks, I guess. Or he'll call us, I'm sure. If there's something comes up.
I am certain he will contact you, when he has found something else or had some need.
Okay. Have a good vacation yourself.
Ah, yes, well, sitting around by the fire reading.
Before comms like get dropped, somewhere back there, Armando's like, Captain Cat, you got a sec? Just so that they can hear it, just so her face can be on the comms.
Her face just like has this look of like, why me? As she turns off the.
Basil laughs. Heavy as the head and all of that.
Well, if anyone else has any fucking ideas, I'm open to them.
We could just make ourselves available for more legit odd jobs that aren't pirate related.
See, but even when we try to get the legitimate jobs, it somehow still ends up in a shit show.
Yeah, but we have the moral high ground. We don't go in as pirates. They will eventually try to bring us down to that level. It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground.
Did the station have any job posting boards? Or,
absolutely. In a place this big, there's always work to be done.
Well, it looks like another field trip, boys.
Yay!
Well, looking to see what's open on the job posting boards.
There are enough choices that... Well, tell me what sort of work you're looking for.
She'll just broadly motion to the other three, like, you guys pick the job. I don't care.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm a keeper at heart, so I like being the protector, but I'm willing to do whatever needs to be done to get money.
And they put Armando out on the street. Alright, so what kind of work would you guys be looking for? There are less legit jobs that, clearly would translate into leg breaker, debt collector. There's escort missions. Somebody wants a heavy guard to travel somewhere.
Let's go with that, simply because protecting seems... You protect, then attack, that kind of thing.
That's me.
Let's protect something. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, we've run out of people to get captured.
That's true.
Alright, there is a man offering 6,000 cubits to escort him and a small amount of cargo from a neighboring system. It's a couple days' journey. The system does not have a crucible, so this is the closest crucible, which is why he's posted the job here.
Is this a don't ask questions cargo, or is this a can we see if everything's on the up and up cargo?
He'll give you the manifest and stuff.
The manifest isn't looking at the cargo itself.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's cool. There's drums. Okay. What's in the drums?
Once the cargo is sealed, he doesn't need it to be opened. But yes, when you come to pick him up, he will show you the cargo prior to it being sealed.
Sure.
And it's basically kind of antiquities.
Okay. As long as it's,
You know, nothing that seems like it would be related to your previous. Nothing related to the main quest. No, not that kind of antiquities.
Yeah. Kind of like. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not really tech. It's
It's old world
Paintings
stuff.
and statues.
it's stuff from some stuff from Dindis culture prior to some big war they had. That predated their but them becoming spacefaring. Historically interesting stuff.
It's old world tech.
Yeah, or art, or utensils even. I mean, let's face it, if you've got
Here we have the mythical bubblegum machine.
yeah, something like that, or if you had a set of Roman spoons, well, that's noteworthy.
Yeah.
Just because of the age, that is that sort of stuff.
Gotcha. Sure.
If you check the manifest, you can look it up where it's stuff he legitimately owns. You can he'll show you the paper trail of
You're very forthcoming, and I appreciate that.
No, of course.
I mean, I've no objections to this. Do any of you?
Job's a job, and this is
Job's
the
job,
least
job.
shady one we've done.
As long as I get paid at the end of the day.
There you go. Excellent.
The person hiring you is a Belair.
Are they like the robot-looking guys?
Well, they're the energy beings that walk around in the containment suit. Kind of robot-looking containment suits, yes.
Mhm.
I use the term guys loosely, too, as they are,
Essentially,
non-gendered. Yeah, non-gendered.
Gender non-conforming.
Well, they're energy beings, so, that physical...
Right.
And that is definitely a bit of a rarity out here. You'd have seen a couple of his people on the Crucible because that's a major area. Out on one of these little fringe worlds, he's got to be quite an oddity out there.
So as we're traveling along, I will say you're kind of an oddity yourself.
Oh, well, right now you've just been talking to him on the comms.
Yeah.
Hash out
Okay.
the details.
Yeah.
His name is Vandale.
Vandale. Ooh, what's the worst I could have with a name like that?
Not Vandal, Vandale.
I know what you said.
Potato.
Except those are
Let's
spelled
go
the same.
home tonight.
All right, so you take that job.
Mm-hmm.
You head out to the you head out to the planet he's living on. Like I said, a couple days travel, nothing really happens. You show up. It's not a heavily populated world. It's pretty baseline, Earth-like. Though the majority of the population is not human. There's not a whole lot of humans on this world. A lot of Dindis, at least one Bellar. As well as some Kesh and some Valna. The Valna kind of keep to themselves in their own little settlements. The Bellar, however, lives in one of the... It's not the capital city of the planet, but it's one of the other major metropolitan areas. So it's got an actual spaceport. You're not landing in a dirt field again. Vandal meets you at the place. Him and his driver. Ah, you made good time. Thank you for coming. I have a buyer, interested in my collection, this collection, but he's getting a bit impatient for me to get it shipped to him. But yeah, there were some holdups. I had to sort out some paperwork on, some of the some of the more recent additions to make sure everything is above board. You'll be traveling all the way to Earth.
Fascinating.
Well, the Sol system. It's actually a station orbiting Earth that you'll be going to, but using crucibles, that's not a once you get to a crucible, that's not a particularly long trip.
Yeah.
But please, we can go to the warehouse where some of my men are guarding. We'll let you take your look in. Please don't touch any of the artifacts. They're already individually packed. But
of course. Just given, yeah, of course.
As you're driving, he makes small talk. You would really have expected a Belair, not having had any of you really having had a lot of experience with him, to seem odder. But he really just carries on small talk like anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Likely meaning that he's been, in and around the more corporeal
society
types for quite some time.
Yeah.
And the Belair, they're either extremely long-lived or they don't actually age. I forget.
They reach adulthood at 10 and can live up to 200 to 1,000 years.
That's quite a range, 200 to 1,000.
Yeah. Well, some of them claim they've lived over 1,000 years, according to the book. Which at this point I'm just keeping open at all times when I'm playing now.
Yeah, it's kind of me.
But
I would at some point ask him, stories of things he's seen in his long life, or like what he's doing, how he came to be in possession of a bunch of Dendis artifacts.
it's not just Dendis, but yeah. Oh, well, he finds you corporeal types very... He just finds you fascinating. He's always been a history buff. It started up, 300 years ago or so. He ran across, he's just an interesting relic from this or that war, and, he goes, I became something of a pack rat after that. It spiraled out of control for a while. But...
Was that why you're offloading some of it?
It's how I got into that. No, I began antique stealing because that lets me, it gives me a reason to go out and find this stuff. And, the pieces that interest me, I keep for a little while. I keep my collection, I keep a sizable collection, but I cycle
keep
through
pieces
things.
rotating. Yeah, yeah, I get you. Fascinating.
Otherwise
like,
I end up building a house, filling it up, and then building a bigger house so I can fill it up. It's an endless cycle.
I understand. Well, here I am, corporeal, short-lived.
Hey, any quizzes you on what sort of things you've been up to?
Well, I didn't have the best upbringing. I was a kind of a child soldier growing up.
That sounds
kind
painful.
Yeah, I've kind of seen war since like 5.
My first, and he probably says I was in my first war when I was 5 too. I was far too young.
Oh, to be young again. But yeah, I probably don't have the sunniest of life stories compared to maybe some of the other Angus.
He looks over at Kat. I love your mask, my dear. But where are you from? Is the story of your childhood a little cheerier than your friend here?
Depends on one's perspective.
He sort of leans forward like he's interested.
She's like trying to think how to like summarize this in the minimal amount of sentences.
So what are you
My
going to do?
parents like to charge people money to live healthy.
That's where I got it from. Sorry, continue.
So they were in pharmaceuticals?
Yes.
Or perhaps ran hospitals? Pharmaceuticals, I don't know. Well, there's nothing... This pharmaceutical company has to make its profit. Though from your tone of voice, I take the implication is that perhaps they were price gouging a little bit, or...
A lot
Just
of it,
kind-
maybe.
Gives a shrug and a nod.
Big pharma.
Like I said,
Big pharma.
It's not really an issue I've ever had to deal with, you know.
yeah, corporealism and all.
Yes, yes.
I think we're all kind of a little depressing. I'm sorry. You're probably not the cheeriest corporeals to be around.
Oh, you're fascinating. And you, my ashen forged friend. When were you created? What and where?
I actually, in small talk, I'll actually say that I was purposely created, which a lot of Ashen Forged are.
Oh, what purpose did they have in mind for you?
I did have sunnier disposition than everyone here. Unfortunately, tragedy seems to be our crew. In a lot of ways, seems to follow along the lines of misery loves company. We're sort of each other's support group.
Trauma bonding.
Well, it's good that people that have been through rough situations, find someone to help them with it.
These ones found me marooned on a planet.
It was a moon, but yes.
Yes.
Oh, and that sounds like quite some story. Shipwreck.
Abandoned, more like.
Oh, marooned in the old-fashioned sense.
Yeah. Well, there was a crew of us, and then little by little we whittled down until it was just me, and I never saw the ship I was standing guard for again.
Dreadful.
Yeah.
He looks over at Adrian. I hesitate to even ask.
Oh, what?
Oh, about your past. Are you perhaps more cheery than your compatriots?
Well, I didn't exactly have much growing up, but what we did have, my mother and I were happy.
Oh, that's good. A little ray of sunshine in this group of gray clouds.
And once she passed, I made my own way.
Oh, what age were you then?
It hasn't been long.
Oh, okay. Good. I was afraid it was going to be when you were a child, and then we're right back into the depressing stuff.
No, she was frail, but did her best to take care of us, and once she was unable to do so anymore, I took up the mantle to take care of her like she took care of me.
Oh, as a child should. Oh, well, we have arrived. The
This week on Depression Theater.
So the big kind of
Except
stretch,
for Adrian, oddly enough.
so they sort of essentially a stretched limo. So it's some sort of hovering vehicle. Potentially it could fly, but it floats around about ground level. Pulls into a warehouse. Not a rundown warehouse district. This place is fairly upscale, relatively close to the spaceport, or one of the spaceport. Well, please, this way. He brings you in. There's 4 large crates. About the size of a wooden pallet that you would see at like a Walmart or something. Modern day wooden pallet. Think of something about like that. They're about chest high. The tops are currently open. It's got like large hinged tops that clearly, big thick walls on it. Clearly, when it seals up, it's pressure. It's got its own pressurized, it's protected against vacuum or excessive heat or.
Mhm.
They're upscale, but nothing you haven't seen before. It's some expensive shipping stuff, but given the condition of the warehouse and how much he has stored here. And, sure enough, you look in there, and it's you look at the manifest, and there's at least the stuff on top matches up with the manifest.
Kind of like. Okay.
And basically, as you give the okays, a couple of his workers at the warehouse, one of them walks up, hits a button, and it goes. Shh.
Yanni will phase through the pallets and will be looking in everything below it.
Can you see in the dark?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Let's see. He
double
does
check,
not
actually.
see. He's phased, so he's intangible.
Oh yeah, he can.
Well,
he
yeah,
can
good.
see everything happening around him within 60 feet, regardless of what it is, because he has blind sight.
Okay. So it's kind of a radar type thing. Give me a perception check for him.
TN.
Yeah, he doesn't see anything off.
Okay.
So you go through the 4 crates. They all check out. They shut. They beep. There's a little. It's like there's a panel in the front that lowers down, and you've got both a keypad and kind of a hand sensor sort of thing set up.
I'll be right back.
May even be there's a little circle that may even be an eye scanner. How a Bellar is going to use either one of those, you're not sure, but. But the workers check and make sure everything's sealed, that the security stuff is on par. And then they get the little not hand trucks, but pallet jacks. Load them up onto load them up into a van basically, and they're on their way to the roustabout. Let's see. He invites you to have dinner with him. You've left Jim on the ship, so there's somebody there to receive the cargo when it arrives. Throughout the dinner, he keeps the conversation light. He doesn't get back into any of y'all's depressing backgrounds. He does ask about old places you've seen and interesting people you've met.
The battlefield where I was grown up. Just kidding.
It's a beautiful battlefield. There were strawberry plants everywhere. So if you accept his dinner invitation, it passes uneventfully. It's a nice meal. He, of course, does not eat. Though for some reason there is a plate and utensils at his end of the table, and a glass of wine that looks like it's got some in it, but
I think he's doing it more for formality's sake.
Yeah.
Unless have we confirmed that our associates can also take over his species? Rainbow people.
the Belar are pretty. It's pretty easy to tell one of them at a glance.
Yeah.
And he never drink. Yeah, he picks up the wine glass every now and then and holds it.
No, I'm talking about people who can take whether the Promorans can take over them.
Oh, you have no idea if a Promoran can take over Belar or not.
Right.
You have not seen a Belair. Well, this is the first Belair you've encountered in the campaign, really. Other than just civilians you've been.
Yeah, in the campaign, yes. I've encountered Belar in the past.
Oh, well, your characters are more familiar with them. Give me an insight, Patrick.
Wrong. It's not insight. That's the I was trying to. Because it's a wisdom save. And mechanic.
Hey.
There it is.
Jason, you mind if I put those skills in real quick?
What skills is that?
You want to check Discord real quick?
Not great. I rolled my skill level, interesting enough.
Oh, yeah, go ahead and put those in.
Yeah, I will.
Alright, so you got a 12 total. Nothing about him makes you think he's Primoran. Not that you've really ever found a good tell for that. While he seems to be extremely comfortable in dealing with the more corporeal races, there are instances where little instances where it feels like, oh yeah, I'm definitely talking to a Belair. That's the kind of comments they make, or the kind of, not condescension. That's not what I'm looking for, but
it's just they're disconnected.
Yeah, slightly.
They're even the ones that like talk a lot are still kind of have that disconnect because they don't mess with corporeal so much.
But he is one that has just clearly dealt with corporeals a lot. He's got almost a politician, car salesman vibe to him. But, he is an antiques dealer, so he is a salesman. I was going to say,
that's part of the
job. You get the impression that he's using this dinner and conversation to get a feel for you as well. Just he wants to know who he's dealing with, sort of thing. But no, you are by the end of the dinner, you're quite certain that he is what he says he is, appears to be. When the dinner wraps up, he asks you, so when would be a good time to leave? Or are we leaving tonight? Do we leave in the morning?
We leave whenever
Captain Cat says we do.
Exactly.
We're gonna leave in the morning. Make sure everything is put together on the up and up.
Yes. As long as everything's in the ship, won't go anywhere. Our buddy here will lock up the ship, make sure no one can get in or out.
Quite right. Well then, I will meet you there at say 7 o'clock in the morning.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is a human planet, so I don't know what times they'd actually use, but for simplicity's
Yeah,
sake.
yeah.
And then he
Yeah,
bids you, he bids you good night and has his driver take you back.
See you then.
When you arrive, Jim's still up. He tells you, yeah, we got the cargo stowed. He confirms with you when you're planning to leave. And then kind of retreats back to his room, and you hear him watching something in there. He's got some show going.
Well, Jim, on the plus side, this hopefully shouldn't end in a shootout of some kind.
Well, that'd be a pleasant change.
Let me have my delusions.
Guys, I know we've lived a very exciting life these past few months, but, some jobs are just jobs.
Knowing Narlock, we're probably going to be up against some sort of ancient primordial evil from beyond the planes of time and space.
No, that's our usual days. This should be cakewalk. And besides, we haven't seen any of those guys in a while now.
Which is why they'll show up now.
She's not wrong. But hopefully we should be fine. Locking the ship up. Good night.
Good night.
Yeah,
Nice.
Agent goes
Jim
crazy.
retires to his room, and you hear some show playing.
Do we recognize the show?
Yeah, it's some cop drama. It's a current show. He's not watching like reruns of himself or anything. It's something that he had downloaded the last few episodes while y'all were in the station, and he's just getting caught up. He's binging.
Got space flicks.
So the next day, promptly at 7, the Bilar is there. He's looking around at the ship as he enters. Oh, it's an older model, but I see you've kept it well. It's well kept up.
Yeah. It's its own historical significant. It's of its own historical significance.
Oh, in what way?
Just is. It's an older ship.
Well, it's not that old.
Older.
It's certainly not the oldest ship I've been on.
You're also several hundred years old.
Fair. That's true. All of your species are a bit more short-lived than that.
Just a little bit.
But none of us live forever, so yeah. Do I have a room?
I'm gonna assume during this time we've converted Jaden Francis's room,
Back to that.
regretfully.
Yeah. To a guest room.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Not that I'll need the bed, of course, but it's nice to have somewhere with a little privacy.
Absolutely. Yanni's just there in the corner.
Indivisible.
You're not wrong.
I got your type already.
So you get your clearance. You take off. You exit the system. There's a couple of days flying back to the Crucible you just came from. And from there, you can jump to the solar system.
What are...
I think in one jump, or...
So is there just a lot of artifact? Is there just a lot of demand for artifacts in the Sol system, or is this just the new place you're trying to test out? Trying to test a new market?
Oh no, I have a buyer already lined up. That's just where he happens to live.
Oh, so all of this stuff is already being bought.
Yes. I just have to make the
Fascinating.
delivery, and he wanted to meet me in person. We're establishing a trade relationship.
I see.
You know,
Do you
we're
know what
going to
they
go
look
through-
like?
He's going to examine them closely in person to make sure
Absolutely.
that, you know.
Absolutely. Do you know what they look like?
Oh, yes.
Well, I mean, you know, would you like to tell us so we, get you there safely?
Well, you just get me when we get there, and I'll rent some storage area, some storage space, and we'll unload. And he'll meet me there.
All right, fair enough.
Now, the job does include you being security during that meeting.
Yes, that's
So-
why I'd like to know what this person looks like.
Well, fair enough then. I don't know that it matters that you know in advance, but he shows you a picture of the guy.
Yeah, that's all I needed. Some kind of human.
Yeah, human, not old, maybe 50-ish. Blonde hair with some silver kind of, or gray kind of showing up in it.
Mm-hmm.
Big, thick mustache.
Gotcha. Good to know. I like to. It's just security detail. I've done security detail for so many years at this point. Relative to being a human, it's just standard procedure for me.
He goes, I quite understand. He should be there with 4 or 5 of his own security people.
That's fair.
Some workers to haul the stuff off.
Of course.
Also, part of the deal is you flying him back home. Of course.
At that point, that's just a lot of fuel.
But he's paying you a decent bit.
I was gonna say at that point he's just paying for gas.
Well, we'll say it's the 6,000 plus expenses.
There we go.
So he's paying to refill the tank and all that.
Okay, fair enough. I accept.
All right. As you're traveling, let's see. I'm going to say the trade path. I think all crucibles are supposed to be tied into each other, but then there are trade routes, so I'm not as sure. Basically, a little bit of travel. You arrive at the outskirts of the solar system because the solar system's crucible is at the very edge of the system. It's one of the reasons humanity was so late in discovering it.
Memories.
At a distance, they thought it was just another microplanet floating out there past
They
Pluto.
thought it was another Pluto.
Well, it's not quite as big as Pluto, but
So it's you can tell they really liked Mass Effect.
Is Pluto a planet in this canon? I need to know.
microplanet. Sorry,
Damn it!
which is still a type of planet, but
I will not stand this disrespect.
Well, imagine how the Vigo feel. That's a Call of Cthulhu reference for those of you who don't get that.
I'm sure some did. All right. As you blip out past the, I think they call it the X mark. I know the discovery of the Crucible triggered the X mark war, which is one of the things it's got Earth kind of jacked up. You have these kind of blasted post-apocalyptic areas on Earth that are remnants of that war. So large sections of the planet itself aren't necessarily somewhere you want to go, but the system as a whole is pretty thriving. As he had said, this was a station orbiting the planet is where he's actually meeting at.
Just in the solar system.
So you've crossed Pluto's orbit, though at the moment Pluto is on the more or less the opposite side of the system from you. And you are approaching basically Neptune's orbit.
That's a event horizon.
Do what now?
That's right, you haven't seen event horizon.
Oh, is that about where the ship was when stuff went wonky?
Yeah. Yeah, it was in orbit of Neptune.
Huh, how about that? There is a loud little noise, almost like an explosion, and the entire ship shakes.
Grand played out.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Of course, it was going so well.
Who said it?
The Belair is the first one to go. Not it.
Captain, heard explosion.
She looks over at Armor. I will punch you in the face.
Jim comes over the comms.
Captain.
Whatever that was is coming from or happened in the bay with the cargo.
Oh, great.
It took out
Loss
the
of atmosphere.
It took out the cameras. I don't know what's down there.
Running.
No, don't run in.
Very
Running.
slight leak. So
leak?
the seals on the door may be cracked, but we're not like venting atmosphere.
Okay.
I will send, when in doubt, send a kilowatt.
You guys have like 5 drones in this ship. If I'm not going, send one of them.
I mean, Yanni is literally our scout.
I mean, bold of you to assume Yanni didn't go down there the second the explosion went off.
Van Dale comes quickly out of his room. What has happened? What has happened?
Explosion
We're
of
looking
cargo
into
bay.
No, my collection. He starts running down for the cargo bay.
I'm following.
Cat grabs him.
I'm still following.
You will stay out of the cargo bay until we know what's going on. If there's something down there that is causing the explosion, you will wait back here. Let the people trained in getting shot at in explosions go first.
That's me.
I really
Once
need
we've cleared
to
the-
see what shape my crates are in.
And once we've cleared the area of any potential hostilities, we will allow you to see what condition your cargo.
Roll me a insight.
Ooh. That's a 20.
He is worried, and it's like he doesn't want you to go down there.
We're venting atmosphere. I understand that doesn't matter to you because you're not in a corporeal body, but
Yes, see, it'd be much better for me to go in there if there's a
We
chance
have
that you might.
drones.
One of you just shove him in the room.
we have drones going in there. If you
How
do not
rude.
sit down, I will have you locked in your room. You are
Roll.
a passenger on my ship.
Roll me intimidation.
Ooh.
So that's an 11.
Yeah.
I have hired this ship. You are the hired help.
Then
let
let
the
us
hired
help you
do their
and
job.
go sit down.
He tries to get around you to.
Cat will clothesline this guy. She doesn't care that he doesn't have a corporeal body.
Now, I understand touch is very bad for you guys.
Well, he's in his containment suit, so that's not a big deal. Give me an attack roll because you're gonna have to physically stop this guy. He is headed for that bay.
I'm trying to figure out unarmed strength's just
It's basically an iron
strength.
Yeah.
I'll say there's a message to the team that says, "Get him in the door and I'll seal it." But Adrian, while this is going on, is heading for the.
I'd probably be heading just because I also have drones that do the mechanic. So.
So if this was a dexterity base, she'd be fine.
All right.
Unfortunately, you're not a monk.
So, what did you get on your unarmed? That
13.
The strength, rather. That's 13. All right.
Max is just a straight roll. She has no strength.
He's not especially strong himself. I think he's got like a +1, but he rolled a 7 on the dice, so he got like a total of an 8. So he tries to slip past you. You just kind of go whack.
I understand you've hired us. I understand we're doing a job for you. Now let us do that job. Sit down, go up and talk with Jim. We'll relay a video up to him. You can see what's going on.
All right. I'm not used to being manhandled like this.
Get used
I'm
to
not
the
used
shit.
to people being rude to me on my ship. Go sit with Jim.
Now, you all notice, it's now Cat's ship.
When
Yeah.
shit goes down and she has to yell at people, it's her ship.
Try to imagine a robot walking off in a pout. That's kind of what this guy looks like.
I'll let Jim know. Our esteemed guest is coming up. We'll
Probably
be
gonna be
patching
good.
through a video from Yanni or one of the killbots soon.
All right, so Yanni and Killbot get down there pretty close.
It's a great
together.
band.
It really is.
Yanni and the Killbots.
Yanni and the killbots.
My electro synth death metal band.
I'm picturing them as bluegrass.
No, you have Yanni, which would be like the electric flute, and then the killbots, which is the death metal.
Ha ha ha.
It's just,
Yep.
it's just electro swing with like.
All right.
There.
So Yanni and Killbot make it through the door. Dust is settling. One of the crates seems to be completely destroyed. The surrounding crates are somewhat damaged. And are now beeping. The little control panels.
We looked at the manifest. Can we tell which item that was that detonated?
Well, they were crates of several items. Yes, nothing in the manifest should have been able to cause that. Before you really have time to think about that, though, yeah, the crate is destroyed, and there is a nude woman standing where the crate was, looking around in a panic. Light is pouring from her eyes.
River?
Too soon. Aramonto would see that and go. Shoo.
Yanni is going to zip over to the crate, and Adrian is going to use him as a proxy to hack into them.
Okay. Patrick, what is the armor class for your Killbot?
Oh shit.
Oh dear. He is 13.
Alright. When she sees the big Killbot walk in, she gets this panicked look on her face. Patrick, can you see through Killbot's eyes, or you just give him commands?
Actually, I'll have to look up the spell itself. I think it's bonus action.
I
Actually,
think it's since you're basically a space cleric, correct?
correct.
I think that's basically spiritual weapon, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, because
The only reason I can do that with Yanni is because he's a familiar.
Yeah, it's different between summons and familiars, so I don't think he would be able to.
Okay, well, Yanni might see the panic look on her face. She turns around and kind of throws her hands up.
and energy.
And energy. However, she only gets a 12, so the energy kind of hits the wall back behind Yanni, or not Yanni, Killbot. And then she kind of moves her hands like that, and the beam kind of arcs, leaving a nice scorched mark on the hull, or the,
Stop
around
loading hose on
the
ship.
door.
At this point-
Seeing that, Adrian, speaking through the invisible Yanni, say, would you please stop trying to break my friend's drone? We're trying to figure out why whatever you were in just exploded and tried to break our ship. Not going to hurt you. I would like the rest of these things to stop exploding, though.
Does
Will that
Yanni
work?
have to be phased in to talk?
Nope.
She spins around. She spins around and does fire off one more blast, like in the general area of the sound. What is Yanni's AC? And she will be at disadvantage because he's invisible, of course.
Yeah, me trying to find all of my character sheets.
Because when he's phased out, nothing physical hurts him, but energy can still have some effect, can it?
Up to a point, because he's resistant to a lot of forms of energy, too. But 13.
Okay. Even her best roll wasn't enough for that. Or no.
Yeah, he's resistant to fire, lightning, radiant, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. And immune to the charm, frighten, exhaustion, and poison conditions.
Jesus.
So she misses you, or misses Yanni, rather. The beam goes off, it hits one of the lights that hadn't already been blown out, and it blows out.
Okay, I'll repeat myself. Please stop shooting things. We're not going to hurt you.
Where am I? What am I doing here?
Are
Where
any of these videos being broadcast, like, to Cat's map?
Well, Adrian is broadcasting it directly to Cat, but nowhere else.
Okay.
And
Cat is seeing what Yanni is seeing. The cameras that should be in this room were blown out by the explosion.
Cat's gonna be like, I'm going in. She just is probably terrified.
Armando was already basically kicked down the door at this point.
Armando, she's naked. The first thing she does not need to see is a guy here. Just stand back over there.
Give me an initiative roll to see if you say that before he goes charging through the door. The door is open, so he doesn't have to kick nothing open.
I'd like to also, while this is happening, Adrian is working through Yanni to try to hack these other boxes.
I rolled an 11.
Roll anything.
I rolled a 9. She's like, you guys keep calling me the captain. Why isn't anyone listening to me?
Well, you don't. What it is, you don't get it off quick enough. Because as soon as that happened, Armando started running down there.
I've kicked down the door. You're like, no, wait! I'm already all halfway through.
So yes, you've charged through, and there is this new.
Leroy!
She shoots you. It's your fault.
I can take it.
Don't try.
So anyway, you're charging through. This woman is standing there, radiating this power, freaking out.
I get the idea of you getting blasted. It's like, it's all right, map, while still sizzling.
Yeah.
Roll me.
Do you want me to roll initiative again?
Lore, probably. But let me.
What skill is lore?
Enter wisdom.
It's wisdom?
No, lore is intelligence.
No.
It's intelligence? Okay.
I think I might be one of the only people trained in that.
Lore or maybe xenobiology, but probably lore.
I'm still trained in that.
I rolled a 17 on the die, so that's a 16.
Cat's not trained.
You're not an expert, but you've gone through this yourself.
Sure.
You think this woman has just gone through espergenesis.
Oh.
You think she is just coming into her powers.
Did you just... Did you just do something you can't really explain right now?
Better question. Why was she in the box?
We can ask...
She spins around and points her hands at you, and energy erupts out of them.
Okay.
What's your AC?
It is 17.
Yeah, she rolled a 4 on the die, so you're okay.
At this point, I'm just using my own Esper abilities. Just.
Well, no, she missed you. You'd have to use your Esper ability to jump in the way before you can do anything about it.
Now, ma'am, I need you to calm down, Energy Blast. Please calm down.
If Cat's in the room
I'm just gonna say this now.
I will actually need to duck out.
We're not that much different. We're both Espers, I think.
Cat walks over and takes off her jacket and gives it to the woman.
All right.
Hi.
Armato, give me. You're trying to calm her down, so give me.
Yeah. Persuasion.
I believe it would be persuasion. Yes.
All right. This is a roll I'm good at.
Unless you want to use intimidation.
How good are you at it?
Like Mr. T. Calm down.
Fuck! I rolled a 9.
She ain't calming down.
That's my bonus.
It's fine.
Cat, you're walking in behind him as Armato is trying very pitifully to calm her down.
I'm just like this, please, You've just undergone something very radical that's going to change your life.
You need to calm down as Arato is holding his hands up with this groping gesture.
Oh
So it's having the opposite
no!
effect.
Cat gives her jacket. It's like, let's go get you something to drink. You look a little confused here, and
Cat, give me a persuasion.
That's a 8 modifier. That's not a.
I thought it was 9.
You calm her down enough that she'll accept the jacket. But now is it a jacket length jacket, or do you have like a trench coat kind of thing?
It would be like mid-thigh.
Okay, enough that putting that on make she's decent
Yeah.
at least. Okay, so yeah, she calms down enough to take that, but doesn't look like she's really ready to go anywhere with you.
Like, if I give you,
Why am I on your ship?
that's the exact same question I have. Because
I went to a
We
job
were
interview.
told we were just-
Why am I here now?
let's go get a drink. I'm not sure why you're here, but I'm gonna go find out very forcefully what happened to you.
Grandblade comes out. Me too.
She seems to get upset again when he pops a great sword.
Ah,
No,
fine.
but-
This is Adrian talking through Yanni. Aramonto, go
Yes?
take our guest to the room so I can seal him in it.
I
Because I
can do
have a feeling that he might have. That the rest of this cargo in here might be more people like her.
All
And I
right.
don't like that.
More espers. I will.
I admire you finding the positive in this situation. However,
I will actually like go, and I will just pick him up as he's like talking with Jim or something, and just take him to his room.
As you're
Going
approaching,
to
he's
time
complaining
out,
to
sir.
Jim. I was told I'd be that the footage would be sent up here. I'm going down there to see what's
I pick
up
him
with
up.
my cargo. And yeah, he turns around and just walks kind of face first into your chest. You go. Give me a strength roll.
Strength, not athletics.
Yes, athletics. This guy doesn't have
Uh,
athletics, so he's got to just roll strength.
To 10.
Yeah, he rolled a 1 on the dice, so you just hoist him up,
I'm rolling like shit on the things I'm good at.
and you basically chunk him into his room, and you shut the door.
I don't even say.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying a word to him. I'm just and close the door.
The second that happens, now, thanks to his level, class 4 system lock seals him into the room.
He bangs on the door.
Cat's gonna come over the comms that are probably into that guy's room. This wasn't in your cargo manifest.
What was it?
We're not human trafficking.
What are you talking about?
There's an Esper in there, and they just
They just espered.
Esper Genesis.
What?
They just went through Esper Genesis. As someone who went through that, I know how it feels. It's very
And,
disorienting.
and speaking of
That
which,
can't be right. Speaking of what,
Your
Patrick?
stuff was the only stuff in the cargo.
Were you saying something, Patrick?
is the girl calmed down right now?
She is getting calmer. The light in her eyes is dimming. There's still little sparks of energy off of her every now and then. Definitely seems to be tied to her emotions. Not unusual when someone's just gone through Espergenesis.
It's not like a rig or something on her, right?
No, she does not have a rig.
Okay.
Considering how she's behaving, more than likely a I can't remember what these guys are called.
There's
Yeah.
Menders, there's the Cybermancers like Adrian.
Melder, Cybermancer.
Melder, I said Mender, but yeah, Melder.
Yeah, Belcher, they're more the wizards of this setting, aren't they?
Mm.
Has Adrian been able to hack the rest of these boxes though? Because I said I was going to do that
That's right.
originally, and then
Give me
we
the rolls
off
for
went
that.
to a
Give me-
10.
Give me the rolls for that.
Well,
Okay, he's black
Adrian-
hatting.
While Adrian's attempting to do that, Kat's gonna try and get the woman at least to the mess hall.
That's actually why I was asking, because it's some medical expertise, and I kind of know a lot about this.
23.
Yeah, the way she's genesising or Genesis, yeah. Anyway, you would guess probably Melder, because she seems to just be pulling the energy out of nowhere. It's a little hard to tell at the very beginning, because in that initial moment of panic, espers will oftentimes demonstrate greater power levels than they'll have just a few days later once they've calmed down and start learning how to use them. She's just in a panic, lashing out instinctively.
Yeah, it's just like pushing a mug of like warm beverage into her hand. Like, just take a couple deep breaths. This is disorienting for all of us.
Yes, it is.
All right. All right, you had the black hat gives you advantage, correct, Adrian?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the 23.
That's like his most used power.
It really is.
So you're not doing all 3 boxes at once. You concentrate on the first box. Once you get in there, yeah, there's life support systems. It's giving you the distinct impression that these people were put into some sort of medically induced coma. The guy in this box is flatlining, though.
Okay. Can he tell what he needs to do to try to bring them back?
Let me know, because someone who actually has medical expertise.
Can we please let the DM respond?
You can. The system is damaged, so it's not, because it's medically it's a coma, not like suspended animation, so they're still having to breathe, and it's not pumping the air to him. You would need to get the crate open, which you're in the system, that's no problem, and then somebody would need to pull the mask tubing stuff out of his sinuses essentially.
Okay. He'll come over the comm and say, Hull, I have someone in one of these crates. Looks like he's flatlining. I can open it for you, but you need to render medical. So he will open the box for Hull, move on to the next one.
Okay. We won't bother rolling for the next ones because it's essentially the same. They're the same security systems basically. So you pop them open. Both of them were also beeping. The systems are in trouble there, but the people are still in the comas. But the life support was still functioning on that one.
Okay, and the third one, I think?
There was 4
3?
total.
One.
The woman exploded out of 1. The one guy was flatlining. The other 2 were fine. I mean,
okay.
The systems are damaged. Long term, there would be some issues, but they're not. You got time to wake them up and get them out.
Right, so he'll leave the other 2, but he will open the first one that's flatlining to rescue his life. And then he will move out of the system. He'll walk over to Kat, pat her on the shoulder, and is like, all 4 of them are stasis pods, in a way. I just saved one of them because he was flatlining. I sent Hull to him to save his life medically, because I don't know how to do that. The other 2 are fine for right now, but long term they can't stay there because the system won't be able to keep them because they were damaged by the explosion.
How many boxes are on their total? Just those 4?
Yeah, the 4.
Just those 4.
Okay.
Hull, give me a medical roll. No problem. You get down there, you resuscitate this guy. He had been. This has all happened within just a couple of minutes. So he was definitely beginning to asphyxiate, but getting the tubing out, you get his breathing started up again. His heartbeat seems to be okay. You definitely want to get him to the medical bay and keep him under observation.
Just to be on the safe side, I'll use one of my prime abilities and stabilize him.
Okay, yeah, I forgot you had some of the healing abilities. So yeah, you're confident he'll be okay. You still want to keep him under observation, like any doctor would, but assuming Killbot has hands, he can carry him.
Yeah. And while under observation, I will also use my prime ability to analyze the device. Essentially, the setup was in the box itself.
Oh, sure, that's
51.
That's not too hard at all. Yeah, it was a life support system. Like I said, when the boxes were sealed, it had its own atmospheric controls. You could have thrown these boxes out into space and they'd have been fine in the short term. It had enough drugs to keep him in the coma for several weeks. Quite a bit longer than you need. At least triple the length of time this trip was supposed to take. You had a glucose solution to keep them kind of nourished. Let's see. Once they wake up, there wasn't really a way to put them back under using this. So this was clearly something, a one-way travel kind of thing.
I'm assuming that the damage done by the explosion is being repaired by one of the boxes.
I don't know. You haven't really talked about that yet.
After I handle the man and stabilize, I actually take a look at the damage to one.
Okay. Like I said, the seal in one of the doors, one of the bay doors, a seal got cracked a little bit or something. It's like a slow leak on a tire. You're technically losing atmosphere, but it's at a small enough amount that it's something you want to take care of in a couple of hours, but it doesn't have to be taken care of, this minute.
I do a quick patch job.
Okay. So yeah, you get the guy situated in the medical bay, and then you come back down and you starts patching up the ship. While that's going on, Kat, you have gotten this woman to the galley, I guess.
Yeah, just kind of away from everything that's going on. Giving her a hot beverage, be like, look, what's your name? My name's Kat. And she takes off the helmet. She's like, sorry about this. It kind of is a default.
Let's see. She is Amanda.
So how did you end up going? What was the job interview? You said it was a job interview you went to?
Yes, was a modeling agency she went to talk to.
What's the last thing you remember?
I remember standing on the street and double checking the address to make sure I was in the right spot. I think maybe I had walked in.
You hadn't talked to anyone?
No, not yet. Not that I remember, no.
Okay.
Her eyes have gone back to normal. She's much calmer now.
She's gonna give her one of the spare comms and be like, we're gonna get you situated. We'll either get you back to your planet, or we'll get you to someone, that can get you back to your planet.
Okay.
For now,
What ship am I on?
roustabout. We're doing a delivery of what we thought was just some antiquities, and Apparently, you're an antiquity.
Give a persuasion roll.
I don't know what is she trying to persuade.
Well, that's a fair
She's
point.
telling the
You're
truth.
actually telling the whole truth, so yeah. So she rolled a 17 or so. It's okay, yeah. She's believing you. The frustration in your voice when you're talking about this was supposed to be antiques, is striking her as real. So
Like, I've got your. Is she about like Cat's height, or at least close enough that she can be like, "Look, I've got some clothes," or we might have some of Jade's old clothes that she forgot to grab.
yeah, the names mean nothing to her, but yeah, she'll take some pants. She's a little on the tall side
Maybe Francis's old clothes.
but she's not she's not bulky or anything though.
We'll get you some clothes.
She can wear Cat's pants, but they're a little high water on her.
Cat's like barely 5 foot, so they're very high water on.
They're like
They're short shorts.
She'll take it whatever though.
right.
Let's see. The guy needing medical attention is a guy, and the
other two were fine, right?
the other two are fine. They are also men.
Okay. Aramonto has been standing like by the door by the person's door as he's been like knocking and trying to get answers or whatever. Just been kind of just sitting there.
Well, he knocked at first and yelled a little bit, and then everything got quiet.
Okay.
He's an energy being.
Yeah.
Adrian, can you please scan the ship? Make sure our buddy's still where he needs to be.
He'll do that.
Okay. You still the ship the sensors detect the Belair. Still in the quarters you put him in. And keep in mind, the Belair wear those suits partially to protect everybody around them, but also because off their homeworld they can't survive out of them.
Cat's had enough hinky stuff happen in the last couple months. She's not putting anything past the universe at this point. She's gonna walk up to the door, kind of nod at Aramonto. I'm gonna go talk to our visitor. You want to join?
Yes, I do.
All right. Adrian, can you please drop the locks for a moment?
I mean, I'm never dropping the locks, but I can open the door. And you have access, so you can open it yourself.
I just wanted to make sure I didn't break anything. Go ahead and send Yanni in, too.
Do you want me to contact the System
Let's-
Defense Force?
Have
Say
him on
that-
speed dial.
Okay.
Have him on speed dial. It's my favorite.
Let's see what's going on.
Yanni
She's
sort
gonna
of
walk into the
phases
room.
into existence by Cat's head and then phases out and goes through the door first.
As he steps through the door, as he floats through the door, he doesn't see anybody. Ship sensors still say the guy's there, but Yanni does not see anybody.
Is he within 60 feet of Yanni?
Yeah, the ship, wait, are you within 60 feet of him, or this guy?
The guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yanni
if
has
he's in the
blind
room, he'd have
sense.
to be. The rooms are not that big on the ship.
Yeah, Yanni can sense everything that's within 60 feet of it.
Okay. Crap, flip away from these. There's a saving throw Yanni probably needs to make. It's not exactly.
Would he be aware that Yanni is there, though?
Not particularly, no. Well, actually, alright, so Yanni does not physically see him. Let me look at exactly how this power works. Alright, let's see.
If it's obfuscate, then it's basically invisibility.
This is something slightly different. He would have to physically interact, I believe. Okay, so he doesn't see anybody or detect anybody at the moment. What is he going to do?
It's gonna stay there.
Okay.
And Adrian will slam the doors, slam the lock shut against everybody, and will put a message in Kat's mask says, well, the sensors say he's in there. Yanni doesn't see him.
So you will come over the comms in that room. Show yourself, or I will just call the Special Forces, not Special Forces, Space Defense Force, and report you for human trafficking.
Give me an intimidation. It probably doesn't matter. Don't roll a 1. Oh, very well. There is a ripple as he drops what is clearly some sort of illusion.
I'm not the only one hearing that, right?
It is on my end, and there is.
You broke up there for a second.
It is on my end, and there is nothing I can do about it.
So he drops, this illusion. Yanni can suddenly see him and detect him with all his other senses. It's like he was causing the room to appear empty, or at least the area he was standing in.
She'll wait till she gets the okay from Adrian again.
He will just open the...
She'll walk in, nod to Hamarat, or... I've been able to pronounce his name fine the whole time.
You've been really good at it.
And now all of a
Aramonto.
sudden-
Aramonto. The auto. She's gonna motion to the Autobot.
Hey,
Aramonto. She's gonna motion to Aramonto and be like, let's go talk to our new friend, shall we?
of course.
Or beat the living piss out of our new friend, whichever one comes
As
first.
you enter, he's got his arms crossed in a very human gesture.
I can do that too. Not that.
Just waiting for Adrian to close the door again. I'm assuming just behind him.
Yeah.
So, I have one woman who has no memory of being put in a box, a man who about died, and 2 more men that are in a medically induced coma. None of them look like fancy antiquities, so I'm wondering what the hell's going on my ship.
I should be asking you that. We loaded my cargo onto your ship, where it sat for a night. I assumed it would be under guard. Clearly someone has tampered with it.
No one has tampered with it. The ship was on lockdown by Esper Powers. No one touched it. So if it was tampered with, it was before it was put on this ship.
Well, that would have only given time during the drive to your ship.
Well then, who
I mean, after
drove
all,
it to my ship?
You examined the containers before they were sealed.
Yeah, we did. So either you're
And,
screwing me over or someone screwed us both over.
And I would like to point something out. If he could...
You're not
He
there,
could-
Patrick.
Sorry.
Aramonto will slowly, bring out his grand blade again and just kind of sit on it like this, as Kat's talking.
None of us here like human trafficking. I'm assuming you're a decent person and don't like human trafficking either.
Sure.
Or corporeal
It's a scourge-
tracking.
It's a scourge on society, sure.
So, you didn't do it. We didn't do it. Who did it? Who did you have transporting this stuff to my ship?
I'm not a detective. The workers that have worked for me for years. who have you got working for you on the ship? How long have you known them?
Known all of them long
How long
enough.
have you been part of this crew?
I trust him more than I trust you.
That's from the captain.
I'm not.
You think I'd put someone on this ship?
Your captain's.
You hired me. I don't care if you trust me or not. You hired me. I protected your cargo through the night. The ship was locked down.
Give me an insight roll, as he's been talking to you.
Ooh, can I
Let's
get
say-
one? Can I get in on that?
Yes. You're in the room. Yanni's in the room.
I'll say slightly. Adrian's not going to do an insight because that's not what he's focused on. Because when they were talking about people messing with the cargo, he instead was going to start focusing on going through all the logs on the ship to make sure nobody somehow got to the cargo.
I got a 15.
Okay. He rolled.
Because listening through Yanni.
And I am retiring those 2 dice for the evening because they have both been failing me regularly. All right. You can tell his whole spiel is just something he's reached up his behind and pulled out. He's just coming off the top of his head, whatever he can think of. Trying to spin it around and put you on the defensive, and it's just not working.
I'll lean a little closer, like this, with the grand blade. I'm still letting Kat do the talking. I'm just like trying to look a little
If she chooses
menacing.
to intimidate him at some point, she will have advantage.
Hell yeah.
She's like, look,
As you're playing bad cop and batter cop.
I've done a lot of jobs transporting stuff. I've had no issue with it. This is the first issue I've had with antiquities exploding in my cargo bay. I've got no problem taking Amanda back to her homeworld, calling the Space Defense Force and being like, hey, this gentleman's doing human trafficking. And she just went through Espergenesis. Who knows why he's transporting these people? So, just toss you up to them.
I can tell you, Espergenesis is pretty
Give me an intimidation.
bad. It's pretty disorienting your first time. Oh my god! I should have rolled.
Yeah.
You just
Wish I
not
could use my
intimidating with your
charisma.
mask off.
Eh. That is my charisma, damn. I just wish I would have had proficiency in it if it was being persuasive.
He sort of sighs, which is weird coming from a robotic body. Especially how natural he makes it seem. Look. There's perhaps there's no reason to call in the authorities.
Gonna have to be real good reason.
Clearly, someone has tampered with my cargo at some point. Certainly, we should get these poor people home to their loved ones. And I'd be more than happy to, pay you generously for the inconvenience of it all.
You know what, buddy? I'm not really believing your story. I'm gonna let you stew here for a little bit while, and she gets motions to Armando. Be like, let's go.
The grand blade just comes up from my hands, or comes up into my hands, and I walk off.
And she walks out, lets the door close behind her.
All right. So it's 9 o'clock. So we're about to wrap. So what is your plan? Do you plan to call the SDF?
She's
Do we
gonna.
have?
Well-
we do plans?
Real quick, did Adrian find anything on the records?
Oh yes. No, you find no records of anybody getting in.
That
Okay,
means
so-
they came in like that.
So yeah. You compare the time that they would have left the warehouse to the time they showed up at the ship. Not a lot of time. They didn't about the amount of time it took y'all to drive there, so they didn't have a whole lot of time to do anything there. Once they were on the ship, you had them on camera the whole time. Nothing.
And Adrian will share this with the party.
Okay.
Good to know.
Yeah, it's like my plan. Let this guy stew. We park. We wait for the gentleman that was injured to wake up. We ask him some questions. If we need to, we wake the other two up. We ask them some questions.
Okay.
If their stories mesh, we call the Space Defense Force, get this scumbag taken away, get these people back to their families and friends.
Okay. So that's where we will start up next week. So you've got your Bel Air passenger.
On lockdown.
Our 4 espers.
Well, you only know the one lady. Everybody else is asleep.
Sure.
And, conversation with her, yeah, the Esper thing is definitely new to her.
And another thing why I wanted to examine that case, does any of that sort of look familiar to me?
The tech. Yeah, it's not super weird tech or anything. Having it all built into a box is a little odd. But medical-induced comas are still something they use in medicine. And
Yes.
the machine to regulate that is pretty standard. Just built into a weird container. Alright, so we'll pick up here next week with you speaking to the other unintended passengers and deciding what to do with your prisoner, I guess he is now. So, anybody that's been watching us, I hope you enjoyed it. Bubba, thank you for coming by and being spot on with all our rules questions.
Bubba, font of knowledge.
Tune in
Bubba
tomorrow
coming in
night.
clutch.
Tune in tomorrow night when we should be continuing with the Big Eye Small Mouth game that V is running for our Wednesday showcase. Maddie will have her Curse of Straw Thursday.
Oh man.
Is it bad in Curse of Straw?
So last session we had a Halloween themed ball party.
Well,
Just to have fun, and then this session's going to go back to being depressing. So yes, it's getting bad.
And then be back on Monday for another episode of Escorts, run by the Dire Bear GM. And then we'll, of course, be back next Tuesday. I've been your GM for the evening, Jason, and with me again has been Sarah playing Cat, Decca playing Armanto, Eric playing Adrian, and Patrick playing Hull. See y'all next time.
Bye.
Bye.